In the WWE, glory and fame are often one match away. The problem is, so is the downfall. Over the years, multiple wrestlers have ruined their careers with one single mistake, and today we'll be covering them. Number 10, Mr. Kennedy's fall from grace.
Mr. Kennedy!
Mr. Kennedy had it all. He had the necessary charisma, gimmick, and mic skills to be a major player in the WWE for years to come. From the moment he arrived, he had all the makings of a star. The fans loved him, and he was well on his way to the top of the card as a main eventer. Kennedy was poised for greatness, winning the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 23. His future seemed bright, with a potential title reign on the horizon. Vince McMahon and the WWE noticed it too. They pushed him immediately. He had a major feud with The Undertaker that legitimized him as a future world champion. Yet, he made a few grave mistakes. See what I did there? Grave mistakes, Undertaker? Never mind. That attracted the wrong kind of heat within the company and led to his WWE journey unfortunately hitting a dead end in 2009. A series of injuries and a wellness policy violation started to tarnish his image. However, the straw that broke the Viper's back was when he dropped Randy Orton with a back suplex during a tag team match, with the latter landing high on his neck. While it was an incident, Randall Keith Orton, a man many would say has a slight temper, told the boss that Kennedy was an unsafe worker. This mistake was perceived as recklessness and led WWE to lose confidence in him, resulting in his release. It's a shame. Mr. Kennedy had a lot of potential, and while he enjoyed a taste of success, he could have gone on to be so much more. Number 9, a real American tarnishes his legacy. Hulk Hogan is a name that will forever be synonymous with wrestling. Hulkster was the face of WWE during the 80s, catapulting the industry into mainstream popularity. Hell, regardless of how you feel about the man behind the character, Hulk Hogan is one of the biggest draws in the history of the business. He was larger than life. To many people around the world, Hogan was wrestling. That's why his career image and legacy were severely tarnished when leaked audio tapes revealed him making racist remarks. This controversy led to WWE severing ties with him, erasing much of his presence from their history, and temporarily removing him from the Hall of Fame. Though he later made amends in return, this will always leave a huge stain on his legacy. Number 8, Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore was known for his mic skills and charismatic persona. He quickly became a fan favorite due to his catchphrases and unique style. Enzo had a gift of gab like no other. He could captivate an audience with just his words.
And you can't teach that!
However, Enzo's career took a nosedive when he was accused of sexual assault in 2018. Although the charges were later dropped due to insufficient evidence, what actually led to his release was the fact that he didn't inform the WWE about the investigation. Therefore, his once promising career ended abruptly. It was a swift fall from grace for someone who once lit up the WWE universe with his words. I wonder how he's doing.
How you doing?
Number 7, RVD420 says you just ruined your push. This generation has Matt Riddle. We had everyone knew what Rob Van Dam was all about. All the 420 references couldn't even be considered illusions. They were dead giveaways. RVD was the man in 2006. After years of fans begging him to be pushed during Triple H's reign of terror, we finally got what we wanted, and it was seen in front of one of the most hostile crowds ever at One Night Stand, him holding 2 world titles simultaneously. The whole thing was brilliant, until it wasn't. In July of the same year, RVD was traveling alongside
suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, death-defying
Sabu when he was pulled over for speeding and arrested for marijuana possession. The WWE's wellness policy indicated it could have terminated RVD's contract immediately for the transgression, but he was suspended for 30 days instead and forced to drop both titles. Speaking on the Icons episode of RVD, Vinnie Mac revealed how he felt about his arrest. I was upset over Rob's actions because I thought he was above that. When something like that happens, we have to be concerned about how the company looks, and Rob wasn't champion for much longer. This was the end of any major push for RVD and WWE. He wrestled for the company for another year, returned several times after, and was even inducted into the Hall of Fame, but he never had the chance to be the face of the company again. He could have done so much more. Oh well, at least he made it to the top, despite his run being shorter than any Divas match on Raw in 2011. Kids, say no to grass. Number 6, Medusa throws her career to the trash can. Alundra Blaze had a successful run in the WWF's women division until she departed from the company in December of '95 for WCW. This was when her career took a hit. She had national TV.
WWE Women's Championship in the belt right here on Nitro.
This irked the WWE, to say the least, and led to a long exile from the company that lasted up to 2015, with both parties finally having a reconciliation and her being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Speaking to WWE.com, she explained why she chucked the title in the trash on live TV. I was under contract and Eric Bischoff told me to do it. It was either that or I was out the door. She also said she was dubbed a disgrace to the business because of the stunt. Bischoff disputed her version of events on his podcast, saying it was her idea in the first place. Oh yeah, she's not opposed to making money off it, but she wants to put the hate on me because she doesn't remember anything the way it happened. She's delusional. Number 5. Alberto Del Rio's altercation. Alberto Del Rio was one of WWE's top stars during his run with the company, but on August 7, 2014, WWE announced it had terminated Del Rio's contract due to unprofessional conduct and an altercation with an employee. The incident happened after a WWE social media manager made a racist joke about Del Rio being responsible for washing dishes. When Del Rio confronted him about his comments, he didn't apologize. So, Del Rio slapped him. There was a mix of opinions within the industry about the situation, as many people backed Del Rio for his actions, considering the joke offensive and believing it was wrong of the company to punish him for it. He returned a year later, but his stock within the company had dropped drastically. Del Rio and the WWE parted ways after being suspended for a wellness policy violation in August 2016. He felt discouraged about several of the WWE's promises, including a supposed main event push had not materialized. In 2017, Del Rio suggested that the company was racist. All these factors combined ensure he is persona non grata in the company. Number 4. Daniel Puder. There was something special about Daniel Puder when he debuted in the WWE. As a tough enough contestant with a history of MMA experience, there was an opportunity to present him as a legit fighter, like Ken Shamrock. In a 2004 episode of SmackDown, Kurt Angle challenged tough enough competitors to lock up with him in an amateur wrestling contest. The Olympic gold medalist defeated Chris Naraki before Puder stepped up. During the contest, Puder caught Angle in a legitimate Kimura lock which could have broken Angle's arm. The ref was forced to count a quick pinfall victory for Angle, even though Puder's shoulders weren't on the mat for the whole 3 count. Out of fear, Angle's arm would be broken. Discussing what happened on a podcast, Puder called Angle a punk and said Kurt was bitter that he outperformed him. Puder insisted he follow the rules and simply got the best of Angle, who refused to shake his hand afterward. Angle commented on the situation saying, "It was a wrestling match, and he caught me in a submission, which wasn't supposed to be a submission. I told him that afterward. I said, you're dumb, and you pinned yourself."
If it would have lasted 5 more seconds, he would have broke my arm.
Number 3. Jackson Riker. After Jackson Riker's stint in TNA as Gunner, his jump to the WWE brought with him some attention. With an impressive physique and intriguing look, Riker appeared to be on the rise to the big time. After spending time in NXT as part of the Forgotten Sons with Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler, the team eventually debuted on the main roster on an April 2020 episode of SmackDown. The Forgotten Sons portrayed American patriots on TV and seemed to be in line for a major push in the tag division. However, a pro-Donald Trump tweet from Riker in June of the same year, during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, ended the team's rise. Many WWE employees were unhappy about Riker's tweet, mainly since it also utilized the Forgotten Sons as catchphrase. His stablemates distanced themselves from Riker's comments, but the heat was already there, and the team's push was over. Riker was removed from the stable and was released a year later. Number 2. Brad Maddox. From 2012 to 2015, Brad Maddox had a memorable run in WWE, where he mainly performed as an on-screen authority figure, filling multiple roles. These roles included being a referee and the general manager for Raw. Towards the latter part of his run, he began to appear as an in-ring performer, primarily in dark matches or house events.
Raw now trying to drag him. And oh no! Maddox with a microphone to the...
Maddox's comments during one of these events resulted in him getting the boot from the company and ultimately ending his career. Maddox revealed he was fired for what he called the audience members during a promo. "I had a dark match in Indianapolis and I called the crowd pricks. I didn't think anything of it. That's never been a bad word to me. I didn't think it was inappropriate. Vince was watching and he didn't like it." And that's all she wrote for him. Number 1. Vader. When Vader debuted in WWF in '96, the expectation was high for the bona fide wrestling monster to make serious moves in the company. As a former WCW champion and a megastar in Japan, many expected the big man to slot into the main event scene. That's how he was initially presented, even scoring a pinfall over WWE champion Shawn Michaels in a 3-man tag match at In Your House 9. The following month at SummerSlam '96, Michaels and Vader had their big matchup for the title. Unfortunately, it didn't go according to plan, leaving a visible irritated Michaels screaming at Vader for failing to move when he was supposed to after HBK went for his signature elbow drop.
Well, you've got the opportunity.
After the match, Shawn approached Vince and said he didn't want to work with Vader anymore, which impacted the plans for Survivor Series, where Vader was scheduled to win the belt. After this, Vader's stock plummeted in the promotion, and he was released 2 years later. Jim Ross himself admitted on his podcast that Shawn Michaels killed Vader's push in the company. What do you think of these career-ruining moments? Are there other wrestlers you think ruined years of hard work in one moment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. With that being said, there's no bigger mistake in pro wrestling than going off script. Check out these 12 times when WWE matches went completely off script.